This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Roxas. On the Scorecard tonight, despite exiting in the round of 16, Eala turned the BNP Paribas Open into a career-defining breakthrough, earning 120 ranking points, over $105,000 in prize money, and invaluable experience on the global tennis stage. Amid growing anticipation of a potential showdown with his former team, Mikey Williams stayed focused on his new club, helping the Converge FiberXers rally past the Macau Black Knights 102-94 on opening day of the PBA Commissioner's Cup. The Ironman 70.3 Davao returns in Davao City with a tougher challenge, featuring a newly redesigned bike course in one of the Philippines' most demanding triathlon races. Roger Federer has reached another milestone off the court, joining the Forbes World Billionaires list for 2026 with an estimated net worth of $1.1 billion. All the headlines and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 12th of March. Now, here's our roundup brought to you by the Philippine Sports Commission, the Philippine Olympic Committee, and the NST-IAC. A breakthrough run may have ended in the round of 16, but for Eala, the BNP Paribas Open turned into a career-defining stage filled with valuable lessons, big gains, and a bold statement on the world tennis scene. The 20-year-old Filipina star saw her impressive campaign come to an end after a 6-2, 6-0 loss to world number 14 Linda Noskova of Czechia in the round of 16, stopping her bid for a quarterfinal berth in the prestigious California tournament, often dubbed as the fifth Grand Slam. Eala walked with significant reward as her deep run earned for her 120 valuable ranking points and a prize purse of $105,720, more than 6 million pesos, along with experience that could prove crucial as she continues her climb among tennis's elite. From world number 32 last week, Eala soared to number 28 in the Live Women's Tennis Association rankings, a new career high and a major step toward her next goal of breaking into the top 20. More importantly, the tournament served as a confidence boost for the young Filipina, who proved she can hold her own against some of the sport's biggest names. With momentum on her side, Eala now turns her focus to her next challenge at the Miami Open, where she hopes to build on her breakthrough and continue her rise in world tennis. Mikey Williams is back in the PBA, and a possible emotional showdown with his former team PNP is already generating buzz. But after making his return with Converge, the two-time finals MVP says his focus is on his new team, not the emotional matchup ahead. Here's our sports correspondent, Zeus Valdez, with the details.
Mikey Williams is keeping his focus on his new team despite growing anticipation about a showdown against his former squad in the PBA. Williams made his long-awaited return to the league as the Converge FiberXers rallied past the Macau Black Knights 102-94 on opening day of the PBA Season 50 Commissioner's Cup, Wednesday at the Ninoy Aquino Stadium. The former finals MVP saw limited action in his first PBA game in nearly 3 years, entering only in the fourth quarter but contributing 3 assists as Converge closed the game with a decisive 14-0 run. With Williams previously starring for the TNT Tropang 5G, speculation has already built about a possible emotional matchup later in the conference.
Not really focused on it. We got terrified with the ball on Saturday, so just taking everything one game at a time.
The guard also praised the core of the Converge roster, pointing to the team's solid foundation headed by Alex Stockton, Juan Gomez de Leano, Justin Arana, Justin Baltazar, and import Kyler Kelly.
Just wanted to get my feet wet. I'm still, learning the offense. I've only been here 7 days, but I thought we have a great import in Kyler and great young guys and just around the ball team. Juan, Alec, and a lot of other supporting nats. And today I just tried to feed off them and just do the best I could to play within the offense and just make the right decision.
As the Commissioner's Cup moves forward, Williams said the team will continue to build chemistry and take its challenge one game at a time. Reporting for the Scorecard, I am Zeus Valdez, Billionario News Channel.
The Gilas Pilipinas women received a tough wake-up call on the world stage after suffering a 115-66 loss to host nation France women's national basketball team in the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournament in Leon. Despite the 49-point defeat to the Paris Olympic silver medalist, the Filipinas fought hard with Sumaya Sugapong leading the team with 13 points, while Afril Bernardino added 12 and Casey De La Rosa chipped in with 11. The Philippine squad also struggled against France's height advantage, led by WNBA player Dominique Malonga, who finished with 21 points. Gilas women now shift their focus to their next crucial match against Germany women's national basketball team on March 13 as they continue their bid for a spot in the 2026 World Cup. Phoenix Petroleum has clarified that it fulfilled its fuel support pledge to Olympic champion Heidelin Diaz Naranjo following questions from her camp about a supposed lifetime incentive. The issue surfaced after Diaz's manager said the highly publicized fuel reward promised after her historic gold medal at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics did not last as long as many people expected. In response, Phoenix said it provided the incentive that Diaz received fuel support during the first 2 years after her Olympic victory. The company added that the arrangement could not continue when Diaz entered into a partnership with another fuel brand, citing standard sponsorship conditions related to brand alignment. The Ironman 70.3 Davao returns on March 22 in Davao City, bringing a tougher challenge for triathletes with a newly redesigned bike course. Considered one of the most demanding races in the Philippine triathlon circuit, the event features the classic 1.9-kilometer swim, 90-kilometer bike, and 21.1-kilometer run, testing both elite and age group athletes from around the world. In the 2024 edition, Eric van der Linden of the Netherlands and Lian Ramo of Lanao del Norte emerged as overall champions in a race that drew more than 1,000 triathletes. The event is also part of the initiative of the Philippine Sports Commission and the Tourism Infrastructure and Enterprise Zone Authority to promote sports tourism while offering qualifying slots to the Ironman 70.3 World Championship in Nice, France. The Los Angeles Lakers are reportedly preparing a massive commitment to Austin Reeves, with plans to offer the rising star a 5-year, $240 million contract once free agency opens. Reeves is expected to decline his player option and enter the market, but sources say the Lakers are confident they can keep the 27-year-old guard in purple and gold. The undrafted standout is enjoying a breakout season, averaging nearly 24 points per game while continuing to expand his role in the team's offense. Meanwhile, questions still surround the future of LeBron James, who also becomes a free agent this offseason. For the Lakers, locking in Reeves could be a key step in shaping the franchise's next era, as the team also looks to make a major push for Giannis Antetokounmpo in the trade market. Meanwhile, here are the other results from around the league. Tennis legend Roger Federer has added another milestone to his legacy, this time off the court. The 20-time Grand Slam champion has officially joined the Forbes World's Billionaires list for 2026 with an estimated net worth of about $1.1 billion. Federer becomes one of the few athletes to reach billionaire status, joining names like LeBron James and Tiger Woods through a combination of prize money, endorsements, and business ventures. On the court, the Swiss icon's resume remains historic with 20 major titles, 310 weeks at number 1 in the ATP rankings, and 6 championships at the Mito ATP Finals. Now 44, Federer continues to stay active in the sport, including appearances at the Australian Open and even and through the team event he co-founded, the Laver Cup. He is known in the Philippines as the former head coach of the Philippines national men's football team, then known as the Azkals, and is remembered for guiding the team to the semifinals of the 2020 AFF Suzuki Cup, highlighted by the famous upset victory over Vietnam, often called the Miracle in Hanoi. Former Azkals coach Simon McManamy will join us later on when we return right here on The Scorecard. Welcome back to The Scorecard. He is known in the Philippines as the former head coach of the Philippines national men's football team, then known as the Azkals, and is remembered for guiding the team to the semifinals of the 2010 AFF Suzuki Cup, highlighted by the famous upset victory over Vietnam, often called the Miracle in Hanoi. No less than former Azkals coach Simon McManamy is here with us live via Zoom. Hello, Coach.
Hey, Anton, how are you?
I'm good, Coach. I want to ask, how are you? I'm sure a lot of longtime Azkal fans are very excited to see you here in the airwaves again. Coach, what's been keeping you busy and how have you been all these years?
Well, it's nice to drop back into Philippines media. It's always nice to show my face. After 15 years in Southeast Asia, I took the opportunity to return back to the UK. So I'm now working as a head of football at one of the top private schools in the country. We're building an international program to try and allow kids to experience football abroad and for players abroad to come and experience the UK. So it's keeping me very busy being back in an education establishment now.
All right, Coach, but despite being very busy, and of course, it's every day for you being a part of the sport you love, football, have you had time to monitor what's been happening here in the Philippines in terms of how the Philippine national football team, the men's team, has been? And what can you say about the development or the progress of the sport here in the country in general?
Well, I try to keep one eye on the roller coaster that is Philippine football, both domestically and internationally. I watched the national team. I managed to catch a couple of the national team games over the last couple of years. Ups and downs, isn't it? Coaches coming in, coaches coming out. Kind of a similar story as we go forward. It doesn't seem to be any clear pathway forward. Everybody wanted to do their bit, but nobody able to kind of get everybody around the table and push forward as one cohesive unit. Certainly that was the case as I left, and it doesn't seem to have had much change since. Obviously the highs have got a bit higher, but it would be great to see them internationally pushing on and kicking into the top 100. Domestically, it's great to see the league with lots of new clubs in. Still a lot of old faces kicking balls in there, I see. I keep an eye on that as well, just to see who keeps playing. But it's good to see the domestic scene is still going, and obviously the ladies flying the flag really high. So all in all, I keep an eye on it. And it's lovely to see the Philippines doing well when they do.
Coach, you described Philippine football as a roller coaster. And that's very interesting. And you also shared that there are ups and downs. And I have talked to some players and some coaches who share the same sentiments. Why do you say that, though? What are some of your most memorable experiences managing the Philippine men's football team that made you say that, yeah, it is a roller coaster of an experience?
Well, it's, when we walked out before the game in Jakarta, we had two presidents at that time. And depending on who you showed, or you said hello to or shook hands with, was depending on what camp you were in. So I made very careful to walk straight through the middle with just giving a kind of nod to each. This political side of football that seems to be dragging the development down for whatever reason. I don't know enough about it to credibly talk about. But it seems to just be this thing we can't shake. This game you're showing now, that's a life highlight. That's not just a highlight of my career. That's a highlight of my life, being on that sideline and experiencing that. And I think all those in the stadium that day that had a white shirt on share the same sentiment. It was an incredible experience. And as a new head coach stepping into a national team for the first time, to be able to say that you affected football on a national scale. When I came back with Morocco Sparks back in the day, I had younger players being brought over to me by their dads and saying thank you for helping grow football in the country. My son now plays because of that game back in 2010. So, you know, these are not just career highlights. These are not just things that I talk about at parties. These are things that shaped me as a person. They're things that I aspire to, and you know, it's a dream that I would love to touch again one of these days.
Coach, I'm sure you're getting a rush of emotions, a lot of memories coming back, just watching clips of that game, the miracle in Hanoi, as many Azcals fans call it. Do you still keep in touch once in a while with the boys like Neil Etheridge, the young husbands? Do you cross paths once in a while and recall that great night?
We have little chats every now and again. Obviously, Neil's over in Thailand and doing very well. Last couple of games, he's pushed his team from Thailand into, I think, the semi-finals of the Asian Champions League. So he's flying at the minute out in Thailand. I stay in touch with a couple of the lads. It's always lovely to hear from the local guys. You know, Ian Aronetto I stay in touch with and keep in touch with what he's doing. He's trying to get into coaching right now. So we've been having a couple of chats. Chiefy Caledon messaged me last week, actually, from Canada, saying that he's trying to get through his A license and could I have a little look over some of his stuff and give an opinion on it. So, yeah, I mean, there is this knowing nod. I keep saying it when we kind of see each other, because the things we went through on that run, you know, they are things that not many football players get to experience. And for Chris to be heading that goal in as we see it now, the emotion that came with that on the final whistle, I don't think any of us were ready for it. It propelled a lot of people into stardom. People were asking me, how did you do it? It's something I have to talk about a lot, and I talk with pride, but it gives me goosebumps every time I do talk about it. So, yeah, amazing times and amazing achievements, and I'm just very proud to have played my little part in it.
And I'm sure this experience bonded you guys forever, for life. Now, there were obviously some conflicting issues as to how you left Philippine football, Coach Simon. Is there anything that you might want to clear about that?
There's lots I could talk about. Would any of it give any positive shine on what happened then? No. So, you know, I don't think there's any need to dredge up the past. I think in the cold light of day, as difficult as it was for me to stomach leaving the team, having been so successful, the opportunity to take on a coach with more experience, to be able to propel the team upwards, the help from the German Football Federation that came in, the training camps, the expertise, ultimately led them to qualifying for the Asian Cup. You know, would I have been able to do that? I don't know. As I sit here, I'm quite an honest individual. I couldn't tell you whether I could or not. So, you know, at the end of the decision, what was on the table was me or the assistants, which would lead them to the Asian Cup. I think the right decision was made. Football is a brutal sport. It has to be. And sometimes, you know, you just have to swallow that. As good as it was to be successful, sometimes you have to take the fault as well. But it's just how you bounce back. And fortunately, I was able to.
And I feel like with what you did and how you explain it so many years after, it just shows what kind of person you are, so selfless and full of class, Coach. And I'm very happy to hear that you're doing well and everything turned out great for you after your stint here in the Philippines. And I also heard that you were even once touted in a BBC write-up as being the best British coach that you've never heard of. If you don't mind sharing, Coach, what are some of your major goals, short and long term?
Do you know what? This is such a difficult question to answer, and I've been asked it many times. The very first job I had in professional football was the Azcals, and I was more successful than I thought I would ever be. We changed the football landscape in a whole country in my very first professional contract as a head coach. So it's difficult to then say, well, what's next? How do I achieve that again? That's a once in a lifetime, once in a career type opportunity. So ever since then, I've really been trying to just be true to myself in how I coach and how I act. I've been working in a very difficult part of the world in terms of how people see you. And in terms of demonstrating your morals and your ethics and your upbringing, I've tried to bring that into every interview, into every job I go into, every decision I make, because you're tested all the time. And I hope that after 15 years of being in Southeast Asia, you know, I can now stand in front of students back here in the UK and talk about these situations where I have been tested, where financially, you know, I've had financial motivations for me to make one decision or another, and I can stand here hand on heart and say, no, I was true to myself throughout it all. So in terms of goals, have I succeeded in getting through that 15 years with my morals and ethics intact? Yes. Comfortably, I can stand in front of you and tell you that, and I thank you very much for your kind words. But yeah, would I like to get back into national team football? Would I love to have a country stand behind me and on a football pitch again? It's an incredibly humbling experience, and I've done it twice, and I will forever be grateful for it. Should I ever be able to do it again, it would be a blessing.
Coach, speaking of being able to do it again, just imagine, and who knows what will happen in the future, because
I know what's coming.
Coach,
I can see what's coming here. You're winding up to it.
Coach, you're still very popular among Philippine football fans. If ever the opportunity arises, do you still see yourself possibly being involved once more in Philippine football? And if ever, Coach, what will it take to see you back here in the Philippines?
I can honestly say that should the opportunity ever arise, of course, I would love to represent the Philippines again. I would love to, utilize some of that experience that we learned from on how to take big scalps and push teams forward. I would love to get some of the old boys involved and back becoming faces and helping football go forward in the country with the help of their experience. At the end of the day, those are the ones that did it. Those are the ones that faced the odds. I didn't kick any balls. I stood there and shouted a lot. That was pretty much my role in the whole thing. So, yeah, a short answer. Someone speaks nicely to me, phones me and speaks nicely to me and says, can you get on a plane to Manila in 10 days? Just like the original phone call back in 2010. I'll be on that plane in 10 days.
Oh, that's awesome. Coach, just hearing that is very refreshing, and I'm sure those who have supported the Philippine men's national football team are very happy to hear that as well. Coach Simon, thank you so much for the time, for reliving all the memories, the miracle in Hanoi and everything. Thank you for the time and joining me here on the Scorecard. God bless, Coach.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Up next, new season, new imports, and a chance at redemption. Can KD Lane lift NLEX, or will Daniel Ochefu power Blackwater to a strong start? We will break down that matchup when we return right here on The Scorecard. Welcome back to The Scorecard. It's time to keep your eyes on the prize. The road to redemption begins for both teams as the NLEX Road Warriors and Blackwater Bossing open their campaigns in the PBA Season 50 Commissioner's Cup at the Ninoy Aquino Stadium. Both quads are coming off modest runs in the All-Filipino Philippine Cup, and they're hoping the import-laden conference will change their fortunes. NLEX actually had a promising start last conference, winning 4 of its first 5 games, but the Road Warriors stumbled late, dropping their last 3 elimination matches and sliding to the number 8 seed, where they were then eliminated by eventual champion San Miguel Beer in a do-or-die game. Now for Blackwater, the story was even more frustrating. The Bossing opened their campaign with a win, but injuries quickly piled up. The result, 10 straight losses to end their conference and another early exit. So for both franchises, this game is more than just an opener. It's a chance to reset their season. The Commissioner's Cup means imports, and both teams are bringing in size and experience. NLEX, it's pinning its hopes on 6'10" Haitian big man KD Lane. The 33-year-old former University of Massachusetts star was a second-round pick in the 2015 NBA draft and is known for his versatility. He can score inside, step out for mid-range jumpers, and make smart decisions on offense. Head coach Jong Yu Chico says Lalane's maturity and basketball IQ could be the key piece for a team still adjusting after roster changes. Now, on the other side, Blackwater will be bannered by the 6'11" import Daniel Ochefu. The American-Nigerian big man brings NBA experience after a stint with the Washington Wizards and was also part of Villanova's 2016 NCAA championship team. Ochefu has played across multiple international leagues, and Blackwater is hoping that his size, rebounding, and rim protection will stabilize the bossing front court. Now, for NLEX, the key starts with their backcourt. Playmaker Robert Bolick remains the engine of the Road Warriors' offense after leading the league in assists last conference. Now, if Bolick can control the tempo and build chemistry with new additions like Shawnee Winston and Kevin Racal, NLEX could open the conference strong. Another factor, how quickly KD Lalane fits into the system. Now for Blackwater, health and defense will be crucial. The bossing need to avoid the injury bug that derailed their last campaign, and they'll look to Ochefu to anchor their interior defense and dominate the boards. But head coach Jong Yuchiko knows opening games are always unpredictable. As he put it, first games are always wait and see. And in the conference, where every team is expected to be competitive, this opening night matchup could set the tone for both teams' seasons. So let's look at the schedule for the PBA matchups tomorrow. And with that, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow on The Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. This is Anton Roxas. Have a blessed evening, everybody. Good night.